Hi, and welcome to Mom Boss Chronicles. We are your hosts. I am Jen.
I'm Sue.
And we are empowering and inspiring people through meaningful conversations. So make sure to like and subscribe to listen to great content weekly. Welcome, everybody, back to Mom Boss Chronicles. Today, we have a special guest, Jenny Vickers. She works for a nonprofit, Clean Water. She also is a PTA vice president member. She also runs the Asbury Park Bazaar. She also is travel, helps with travel plans, right?
Yeah. The list goes on.
Yeah. So, and a mom. And a mom.
Roll down. Let's roll it.
And I love when we have entrepreneur moms and, working moms on here because it's so cool because we get to dive in to how you make it all happen.
And it's so inspiring.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. I really love your podcast.
Oh, thank you.
I really do.
Appreciate that.
So I guess if you, nonprofit, that's like a big part of your life.
Yes.
And how long have you been doing that?
So that was my job out of college.
Wow.
I studied international environmental studies. So I always had a passion for the environment and knew that that's something I wanted to do. And I never wanted to work for a corporation. I've always been kind of like, I want to be my own boss.
Mm-hmm.
Person, I never was good at working for other people. I would get fired. So
I love that.
So nonprofits enable you to kind of do your own thing and be a leader. Mm-hmm. So I'm the national communications manager. I work from home, and I get to work on what I believe in, and my passion is protecting the environment. So,
and you said international.
I studied international environmental studies, but I've just focused mainly on local water issues, as well as federal water issues.
So New Jersey,
and we're across the country.
Wow.
So we're in Minnesota, Michigan, Pennsylvania, we're everywhere. New England, Texas, California, and Washington, D.C. is where we're headquartered. And our main goal is to make sure that our drinking water is safe.
Yeah.
So we work on issues like to protect kids from lead, very important
that
as a mom.
That is so important.
And protect families from toxic chemicals. Wow. So we do a lot of work to make sure that, our consumer products and products that our kids are wearing, for example, are not toxic.
Like clothing.
Like flame retardants are in clothing and you're putting on your kids, but they're linked with cancer. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes. Specifically, I know I've seen,
Yeah.
Oh
So we do that kind of work, that's so cool. Making sure that, I believe that protecting the environment is good for the economy.
Yes.
So I just think that if we're protecting our water, our land, our families, and creating healthier communities, we'll live in a healthier world. So that's my passion. That's what I do day to day.
I always wondered, who are the people that advocate?
I know.
For good.
Because we take it for granted.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I seriously appreciate that so much because I don't do that. Nope. And your daily grind is helping to protect your fellow people and humans. And thank you so much for doing that. I really appreciate you putting in that work.
And it seems like common sense, but it's not.
It's
right?
not.
Unfortunately, we have so much information, I think, coming at us on social media and the news, and you don't know what's real, what's not. So, we really ground ourselves in science and policy and reality, and we really do the research before.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Speaking out about something. Yes.
That's awesome.
This is very random, and maybe you can or cannot talk about it, but I know Suez water, right, where a lot of people get their drinking water from, is owned from international like a country.
Yeah.
Is that stuff we should be concerned about, or are there kind of systems in place that something went awry here that would be really off the wall?
There are systems in place, but it is a little concerning that major, global international companies are buying up all of our water supplies.
Yeah.
Didn't even realize
that. That freaks me out.
Yeah, kind of terrifying. I don't work directly on that, so I can't speak to it.
But I didn't even know that happens. For some reason, I just thought it was part of our local governments, our federal. Yeah.
Well, our governments regulate the water.
Got it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the owners can be French.
Yeah.
For example.
because it's a profit business, I guess.
Yes.
Didn't even know that either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. So,
and just a tip out there: do not buy bottled water.
Yeah, I stopped.
Better off just.
I know.
Drink tap water or filter it.
Yeah.
All the microplastic use that we're getting. And then obviously I've heard with the water, bottled water, the temperature extremes, you expose it to cold and heat. It's not good for the plastic.
And the plastic.
Yeah. And obviously plastic in general.
Mm-hmm.
Consumption of plastic.
Yeah.
It's not biodegradable. I know.
Yeah. And it's the regulation of it too. Sometimes tap water can be safer than some of the stuff they're finding in bottled water.
Wow.
So it's better off save the money and just drink tap water and get a filter.
Do you believe in whole house filtrations? Is that worth it? Because
I I recommend it. I mean, it's expensive.
Yeah.
You could even just put a glass of water and leave it uncovered. And a lot of if there are chemicals in there, they'll evaporate.
I didn't know that.
They say to do that if you find like mercury or lead or stuff like that in your water. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And can people test their own water?
Yes. You can actually send kits to the Department of Environmental Protection.
That's awesome.
Located in Trenton. They have a whole list.
Yeah.
And you could test your water.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you guys are doing the work, obviously, to protect our children, make sure that, like, lead is not in, I assume, the water that's going to, like, the schools and facilities and stuff like that, or just in general, like...
Well, our water infrastructure is mostly like, a lot of it is lead pipes.
Yeah.
I know because it's
old. We have
and
very old
lead paint,
right?
Yes. Yeah. So
they didn't think about it back then. So.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Part of what we do is just testing, replacement, and ensuring funding for people who need to replace their lead service lines.
Yeah.
Was that part of a policy that we were supposed to be replacing lead pipes? And
It is part of a current policy now. It's part of Biden's National Infrastructure Plan, but unfortunately...
It's getting slashed.
Okay. Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
So we're just going to let our kids drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I feel like it's important, I guess, to do the testing and find out about your water and take proactive measures.
Yeah.
To what you have to do. Right.
Yeah. I mean, yes, at this juncture, if you care about your health and your children's health, yes, as a parent, as a citizen, you're going to have to now take that extra step to make sure.
And so interesting to know about the plastic waters too. Thank you for shedding light on that.
You're welcome. I could go on
I'm sure we could probably
forever about stuff, but
and then you know what else I really love about Jenny? She's my neighbor.
Oh, yes.
And I follow her on social media, and I love that she does these Asbury Park Bazaar, and that's like different events that you do in Asbury Park in the convention center. And you've been doing this for how many years?
So we just celebrated our 10-year anniversary.
I love that, and I love seeing the different
Thank you.
pop-up events because you'll theme it.
Yes.
Based on, I went to the Halloween one. That was so much fun. There was a DJ and there was a psychic and there was aura pictures and I had so much fun. And you put that together.
Yes.
I love that.
That's incredible.
I know.
Yeah, for the past 10 years. And again, this was motivated by my environmentalism, but I also...
That tied in.
Yes, I started it because I used to do crochet and knitted goods and sell at craft markets myself. And I had a company called Woven.
Okay.
So I made hats and scarves and all kind. I've always been kind of creative like that. My mom's a seamstress and she made all my clothes.
I love that.
She's incredible. But so I started making hats and scarves and so did she. And I was selling at markets around and I met so many people that were also doing the same thing, like artists, artisans, crafters and stuff like that. And I grew up in Germany. And I used to go to they're called Christkindlmarkts. They're like the big German.
It was like a farmer's market in
It's much more than that. Okay. So that's where I thought was missing at the markets I was doing.
Yeah.
It was just like a few vendors selling stuff and not much more to it. Whereas in Germany, it's lights and food and music and
it's like more of a build out.
Like if you go to international bazaars, they're like a party.
Yeah.
It's an experience.
Yeah. So that's our goal.
Yeah.
It's a celebration of makers, music, and art. And then we want the event to be an experience where you go and you don't want to leave.
I love that.
And that's when the vendors will do better.
Yeah. When people stay.
When you have good food.
Yeah.
We have Hampton Water Rosé was just at our last event.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, the cutest pop-up tent. And people were sampling sparkling rosé. There was shopping. There was live music.
Yeah.
Photo areas where you can, post and share on social media. As we know, that's so important to businesses these days. So that's why we called it the Bazaar.
Yeah.
Because we wanted it to be like a festival, like a celebration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the venue, I mean, being in the convention center is just iconic.
I know.
It's such a great building and
great use of space.
It really is. Yeah. I feel like even just walking through that space, like even if you're going on a walk, like it revs you up. It's about the energy in that building. So hosting everything there is amazing. I'm definitely planning to come to the Valentine's one.
That just passed.
No.
Mother's Day was our next one.
Mother's Day, okay.
Spring. But she just mentioned
the Halloween
something we just launched, which is our night markets.
Oh.
We did it a long time ago, but not like this. So this is a paid event. It's only $25. It's not like, but we have vendors. We have 2 different DJs and they're playing all disco music.
I love it.
And food vendors at this one.
Okay.
So Tallulah's will be there and other vendors. I don't have the final list, but go on the website, asburyparkbazaar.com, and you could click on tickets to buy tickets. So that's coming up on Friday, April 11th.
Oh, okay.
That's awesome.
And that's catered to people of all ages, but mainly 21 and up.
Okay.
And what time?
It's 6 to 11 in the convention hall. But what we do is we shut down the entire building. So unlike the bazaar during the day where it's public, it's free, it's a community event, nonprofits come and it's just more like free, all ages, pet friendly. This is like ticketed. We shut down the building and we have like a big festival at night.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I know. It's like,
but you can still be home.
Yeah, I know. I love
by
it.
10 or 11.
I did the Halloween one, and I had a couple of my glasses of rosé, and I was home by 10 o'clock, and it was perfect.
That's important.
Yeah.
So I tell all my mom friends, I'm like,
let's go.
You can go out and still be in bed early.
Totally.
Come at 6 and leave at 8 if you don't want to stay late.
8 hours of sleep. Yeah.
So it's definitely a mom motivated event. Yeah, I want all my mom friends to come.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
For sure.
So was it, when you had this idea 10 years ago, was it hard putting the pieces together? Because you had to go to the town, I guess, right?
Well,
so
10 years ago, Asbury Park looked very different.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not even, that's a different place.
For anybody who doesn't know, we live next to a town called Asbury Park, which went through a major revitalization in the past 20 years.
A renaissance.
Yeah, renaissance, literally. So you're right. 10 years ago, it was in the middle of this transformation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So their goal was to bring more people to the boardwalk because historically it was pretty quiet.
Yeah.
There were some businesses, but not a lot.
Yeah.
So my husband actually worked down there at the time and was involved in like music and stuff like that. So he was the one who organized Indian Summer, which was a music festival on the beach in Asbury, way before See Here Now. But yeah, so he was involved in like more music stuff.
That's
but
cool.
He was in talks with the Asbury Park Boardwalk managers, and they wanted something at Convention Hall, something to bring people in. And so Joe and I, my husband, we were talking, and I went into Convention Hall like you said, and it's so magical.
It is.
And I'm like, I just pictured the German Christmas market.
It came to you.
Yeah, I was like, we need something like what I grew up with in Germany going to. I want food. I want,
Yeah, because there's nothing like that in New Jersey.
No.
Like,
there is some great Christmas markets, but they're in like Pennsylvania, New York City.
Right.
Yeah. So we did it. We launched, and
the first, like your connections with vendors, that was like you're part of the community. So was that okay? Like, to
yes, I was already connected.
Yeah.
I myself sold. I actually sold at my first event.
That's so cool.
I had a table and I put on the event.
I love that.
The bazaar looked very different back then.
Yeah.
I actually was recruiting friends to be part of the bazaar, even when I didn't make anything.
Oh, you're like, just come.
They were going to the event. They're like, this is so fun. I want to do something. Actually, Charlene and Nick, believe it or not, like Charlene was selling lovely little plants and vintage. But she recruited Nick. He was like, I want to be part of the bazaar, but I don't make anything. He made apple butter.
I love that.
He just like decided to and sold.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, I'm going to do this and set
everyone wanted to be a part of it.
I love that because it was exciting. Yeah.
Because there was nothing like that at that time.
Yeah.
So
That's so cool.
that was funny to me when I look back on pictures now. It's just these little tables and people selling. Now it's like very organized and we've got tents and electricity and bands and
And I'm sure people reach out to you and they're like, how can
yes, now people have to apply to get in.
Yeah.
It's different than 10 years ago, for sure.
Right.
We've come a long way. Like we went from, one event to now we're doing like over 20 a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's a big undertaking, right?
Yeah.
And
this isn't like a weekly farmer's market type situation.
Yeah.
Like this is special, like seasonal events. So we do Valentine's, which just happened. We do the spring. We do summer. We partner with North Shore Music Festival and do vendors while there are festivals in town. We do the fall, and then we do the big holiday markets.
That's awesome.
wow.
And then you're incorporating the night ones now, too.
And now the night ones, yes.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And my partner helping with me is Babes in Business.
Oh,
yeah.
So you're probably familiar with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So cool. And I feel like it's really awesome, like, to get people to go to Asbury and also have a great family experience. And it's just amazing.
And, giving people a forum and opportunity to sell their
Showcase.
goods and showcase
a lot of
their services.
Yeah, a lot of vendors actually now have brick and mortars.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. So cool.
They're located downtown Asbury. Actually, one of our longtime vendors who sold pet products are now at Convention Hall.
That's so cool.
Yeah. It's cool to see them grow.
Right. And
I do miss them at the event. I'm like,
but you help facilitate that.
Yeah, it's nice.
So it's like, I just love that it's very community based and giving back to everybody. And so how do you fit all this in?
I know. And you're also a member of the PTA.
Yes.
Vice president this year.
yeah.
That is awesome. That's a lot of work.
It is, but I always say, when people ask me like why I'm in the PTA, aren't you so busy? But like, honestly, it forces me to be more involved in my community, very hyper local.
Yeah.
And my child. So knowing I get to go into the school and be part of it and be part of planning all the events. And I'm an event planner through and through. Like that's what I love to do. I love to plan trips and I love to plan events.
That's so cool. So that for you, that's like, it brings you joy.
It brings me joy.
I love
that. Yeah. And, we just had the Sweetheart Dance.
I know. My kids went cute. And they loved it. And I do love that about our school.
Yeah.
My kids go to the same school as your daughter. And I feel like the events that the school puts on is very thoughtful and special. And like I take it for granted, right? Like until I got involved and I realized, oh wow, there's a whole team thinking about this and incorporating it, and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and I never realized like the public school system does need the PTA.
100%. Oh
you
my
just
God.
think
now more than ever.
Yes.
Really.
Yeah.
You're like, they're going to school. What else could you need? But no, you do need that social element to get the parents and the students involved.
And there's not really funding for that, so like. It's a very community-driven. We only get support from the parents at the school. So it's really a big community effort. Like you've got the PTA committee, which is us, but then it's really you.
The parents.
You're on the PTA.
Yeah.
Like it's the work of everybody coming together. And that's what I love about it.
And I actually enjoy volunteering. Like I remember before, I don't know why, but when I was younger and I thought about the PTA, I was like, oh, that must be so annoying.
Right.
But now that I have kids and I go and I volunteer, I enjoy it. I didn't realize how much joy it would bring me.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like I volunteered for the
Fun
fall,
day?
the harvest that we did for the pumpkin patch for the pre-K kids. Oh my God, so adorable to see all these pre-K kids play these games with them. And Fun Day, I volunteered for Fun Day. Like I just genuinely enjoy being there with the students and having fun with them.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. I did the daddy-daughter dance at my school.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't have a daughter.
You have a son, but you did it.
They needed help. So I went and it just filled my cup.
Yeah.
Like my daughter cup really. But like I'm like, oh. I walked out of there.
Special.
I was like, this is amazing. Like, thank God to be a part of a community that like really supports their children like this.
And has pride.
I know.
Yeah.
So cute. Like, I just love it,
Yeah.
So to be a part of that and you're in a leadership level, like, oh.
Yes, it's funny because I was corresponding secretary, and I didn't really know what that meant.
When you started? Yeah. Like, sure, I'll do this.
I answer emails.
Yeah. And then, now I'm vice president, and it really is a team, though. I don't, we all Rose is the president, and she's our leader, but like it really is a team of everybody working together.
Yeah.
That's what I find. Like,
absolutely,
you
can't do it alone.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have a board at the school of everyone's pictures with who we are and stuff like that. Like, who's the PTA? And my daughter is so proud.
I love
like, you know what I mean? Like, she's like, my mom's doing this. You know what I mean?
It matters.
Really, what testament to our children to show them how much we love them and care about them and are going to support them and to be involved in that capacity. We can, right?
Yeah.
So, like, we're grateful in that way, but like, of course.
That is so special for her. Yeah.
That's so cute.
Oh. And then I love how you said you do love planning, so you do travel also.
Yes. So I mentioned this before. I grew up in Germany, and so
were you born there?
Yeah. How long did you live in
I was
Germany?
born in New Mexico.
Wow.
And my dad was in the service. He married my mom, who's German.
Oh wow.
And so we moved around a lot. So I've lived in England, Texas, New Mexico, Germany, for the most part. That we were stationed over there because my mom's German. So my dad requested Germany more often, but sometimes we were shipped off to Texas or wherever. But so we moved every 3 to 4 years. But Germany, I landed we were there for my junior high and high school years.
Oh, so very formidable time in your life.
Yeah. A lot of memories there.
A lot of memories. I was there when the Berlin Wall fell.
Oh my God.
I visited communist countries before they fell as well. Like I went to Czechoslovakia before it became Czech Republic.
Wow.
And so we used to vacation Yugoslavia, which is now Slovenia and other countries. Yeah, so a lot of history. Yeah. When our class trips happened, we would go to Spain.
Wow.
Because it was right next door.
So
cool. My parents would be like, "Oh, we're going to France this weekend." Because you're
you're there.
You're there. It's not that far away.
I love that about Europe.
Yeah.
And unlike, yes, we have different cultures in different states in the United States, but it's just like so much more different cultures in each different little country.
Totally.
And it's incredible.
Yeah, you have different cuisines
Learn
and
so
languages.
much. Languages, right.
Yeah.
Architecture.
Yeah.
Clothing, fashion, everything. It's incredible. So you're exposed to a lot.
Yes,
Yeah.
I loved my upbringing. But that said, I can't sit still.
Mm-hmm.
As you could tell by all my different jobs.
You were on the go.
So my mom actually I was created in the Philippines when they were stationed there. And then by the time my mom had me in New Mexico, she had gone from Philippines to Hawaii.
Wow.
I'm in her womb to California and then to New Mexico. And then she had me. So I was...
Travel was in your blood.
Travel was there from the very beginning.
Yeah. And you love traveling.
I love I still travel.
I know.
To this day.
I see your photos and I'm
what.
like, that's incredible. And you take your daughter to some pretty amazing places.
Yes. She's been to Curacao, Mexico, Costa Rica, Oregon. Her first trip was South Beach. In Florida.
Cool.
It was a
local.
good first trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you love like showing her the world?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool.
How old is your daughter?
She's 6.
Okay, my son's 6 too.
First grader.
It's such a fun age.
Yeah.
I love it.
They're so curious and excited.
I really want to take him. I have friends that live in Germany actually, and they also have a pied-à-terre in Paris. So I was like, I think we should go visit
Europe, right?
Summer, right?
Yeah.
I want to take my son because I want him to see what's out there.
Yes.
Because they live in a bubble.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love our bubble. Don't get me wrong.
They live in a beautiful bubble.
Yep.
But it's also really cool to show them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Has your daughter been in Germany?
So, no, we haven't done Europe yet. I was trying to wait until she got a little bit older so that she remembered everything. Yeah. You know, I think around this age is when they say, you know, she's already forgotten about some trips she's gone on and she was like itty bitty. Right. So I'm like, if I'm going to spend the money
I get that and the time.
Yeah. So eventually we're going to go. We're kind of in between Portugal or Italy for our first time.
Well, you can't go wrong either way.
Yes. Yeah.
And your husband loves to travel, right?
Yes. I mean, he didn't grow up traveling as much as me, but he does love to travel. He has to go.
Yeah.
You know, he just...
It's like, if you want to hang out with me.
Sorry, babe. We're out. Yeah. Either you're in, you're out.
But I just became a travel advisor, certified travel advisor with a company called Fora. They're known as the Modern Travel Agency. And it's incredible. I've taken a ton of training and I'm learning all these new platforms and booking trips for clients. And I have a long way to go and like a lot to learn.
Yeah.
But I'm passionate about it and I love doing it. And I feel like I'm learning myself how to better travel, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Little tips and
sustainability, you know, going to more sustainable resorts because that's a passion of mine.
I love that.
People doing the right things.
Those are things that you don't even think about but do matter.
No.
Yes. Yeah. They do matter. Yeah.
We're going to have to pick your brain.
Yeah.
For sure.
So my company name is Trips by Jenny. Right now, I'm only on Instagram because that's a new company, but I'm building my website now. So I'll.
And you can help people with travel anywhere in the world?
Anywhere in the world.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I just booked a trip all-inclusive to the Dominican Republic. Oh. And now I know all about the Dominican Republic because that's the thing that I do is I throw myself into something and I learn as much as I possibly can.
You're doing the research.
Yes.
And,
yeah. Mm-hmm. So I take the time to like really, I don't just pick something. And my husband's like, oh my gosh, what is she doing now? You know what I mean?
At night, like standing up on the computer, just researching. That's so cool.
Yeah. A lot of my friends too, whenever we're organizing anything, a trip, a birthday, I'm the one doing it.
I love that.
Because I know
you're going to get it done. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
And you probably want to do it. You're like, I want to.
I want to do it. I'm also OCD. I have like folders and pictures and Google Notes and everything.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of my favorite trips was Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
The beaches are beautiful. Like, it was so much fun.
It's a good time.
Yeah.
I've never been, but now I want to go.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, and it's a quick trip. It's not like too
far for us
to get there, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll be a good one.
You know, I've never been to Europe. You're going to help me.
Yeah, you have to. You got to get on that, girl.
I know. I have my passport, but I only keep going to the Caribbean or Mexico.
I mean, not a bad place.
No, but I need.
I mean, that's the flight for me, right?
Yeah.
No more than 4 or 5 hours,
especially with kids. Yeah,
with kids.
But I would love to go to Europe.
Yeah.
Any special places that you would say like first trip to go to?
Well, we honeymooned in the Greek islands. We went to Santorini and this little tiny island called Milos.
Was it special?
Like
it was so special.
Yeah.
Yes. I highly recommend going to the Greek islands, although Santorini just had an earthquake recently, which is terrifying. So don't go now. But yeah, the Greek islands are top of my list. I also really love Croatia. Oh. It's kind of under the radar.
Yep. Yeah. I heard it's beautiful. It's
absolutely stunning.
That's awesome.
And I also, one of my favorite cities I've ever been to, well, I have 2, Prague.
Okay.
In the Czech Republic. Probably one of my favorite cities.
Is it a cool city? It's cool.
It's amazing.
That's awesome.
It's full of art, architecture, art and architecture.
That's awesome.
And good food.
Great experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Copenhagen.
Oh, I've heard about
other favorite
It's like
city.
one of the happiest cities they say in the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
You bike right around, a lot of art and culture.
Yeah.
Same thing. Yeah.
That's awesome. I know there's so much of the world to explore.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm ready for it. I'm here for it. I'm starting to try to tap into. I actually was an event planner and corporate event planner in my previous life. But I work for a global law firm, so I have friends that live in Europe. So I'm like,
I know you've been to Barcelona. Yeah. Like you've gotten to travel some
yes,
places.
definitely. I went to some very cool places. Barcelona, London. I've gone to Italy. Like, I would love to go back to Italy. My goal is Puglia. I really want to go to Puglia. And Albania. I hear, like, Albania is having a moment right now too.
Is it on the coast?
Yeah, so it's on the Adriatic.
Oh, nice.
And so it's like Albania's on the other side from Italy.
So there's beautiful beaches.
I heard it looks lovely. I've seen photos. But I found out like a couple of years ago I was under the impression that I was mostly Italian, but I'm actually mostly Albanian.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Find your family.
Like, yeah. My dad was like, "Don't you remember grandma's mom was from I'm like, I don't remember.
No, but sure.
No.
Another location I would say easy to get to from America, East Coast. You could just go to New York or Boston. I flew out of Boston when I went there was Azores, which is a tropical island off the coast of Portugal. So it's less of a flight to get there.
You could fly
only like 4.
It was like 4.5 hours
that's
from
amazing.
Boston.
Wow.
And I flew SATA Airlines, which is the local government airline, out of Boston. We drove to Boston. At that time when we went, this was 15 plus years ago, before anyone knew about it.
You
know how I landed there? This is a funny story. I was at my friend's house, Nina, and I was like, I want to go somewhere, but you can never decide, right? There's so many amazing places. She goes, why don't you just spin the globe? She had one of those
I love that.
spinning globes.
Literally.
I spun the globe. I put my finger out. I landed on the Azores.
Oh my gosh.
I'd never heard about it before.
So then you go and research.
So we went.
And it was amazing?
It's like, they say it's like the Hawaii of
I want to go. I love
of
Hawaii.
Europe.
Yeah.
It's north of Iceland, so it's similar, like geographically.
You
in
went
the
to
ocean.
Iceland?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. So
Yeah.
like if
So
I
it's
like
not as cold.
Yeah. So if I like warm weather, go in the summer.
Go in the summer.
Yeah.
When it's warm. But that's where my husband proposed to me.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So special.
Yeah.
And there's flights direct from Boston?
Now there's flights direct from New York.
Oh my gosh.
And it's
'Cause
gotten more
popular.
touristy. I
Okay.
can't. It's probably not the same as it was when I was there.
Very
but-
untapped, when you were there, but
I love how like
really
literally that was a random, but you were meant to go there.
I was meant to go there and we got engaged, and several friends have gone there since I went there because they saw my photos.
That's
and
so cool.
They went there.
Yeah. I feel like you're meant to be in the travel world.
Yeah. My nickname used to be Wanderlust Jenny.
Oh,
yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Instagram handle was taken.
Do you like being a Jersey resident?
Actually, people are so surprised when I say this, but I love New Jersey.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I love New Jersey. I like the people. I'm a little bit more, because I'm half German. I'm a little bit more of a direct person, an honest person, and I don't find people to be overly nice here. When I lived in North Carolina with my family, I love North Carolina. I'm not trying to bash North Carolina right now, but everyone there is so nice.
I didn't mean. Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah.
But then maybe not, like, they might say something behind your back.
I didn't mean.
It's not,
know what I mean?
It's
Like-
not like necessarily genuine. Like, I don't know. Around here, you know where you stand. With
Exactly.
That's what I mean. I appreciate, like, I don't like, how are you? I'm doing good. Yeah. Like, I like when you say, how are you? And people are, they're like, actually, I had a really bad day. You know, like, I feel like
honesty.
people are a little bit more upfront.
Yes.
And it just matches my personality a little bit better.
You're right. I take it for granted, obviously, because we live here. But
100%. Between our sarcasm and our directness, like, other people are like, oh my, a lot.
And like, I feel like we have thick
sometimes.
skin because if you see somebody and you know they're having a bad day, you don't take it personal. Like, oh, it must be a bad day for them. Then you see them again and then they're different. You're like, oh, it's a good day. Like, it's just, it is what it is. Where I'm sure in the South, it would be very disrespectful.
Yeah.
To kind of dismiss somebody if you're having a bad day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess the culture, and I mean, believe it or not, we are the Garden State.
Yes.
I know
I know.
New Jersey's so beautiful.
It is so beautiful. I don't want to even talk about it.
No, don't talk about it.
I don't want more people moving here. But like, when you fly into Newark, you see like the North Jersey and
Nothing
like all
special.
the industry there.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But like, venture out into the west part of the state or
South, yeah.
And actually, my organization helped pass laws to help protect open space out there. So there's
that's
2 laws: the
awesome.
Pineland Preservation law, which is we have a 1 trillion gallon aquifer there. Very important to protect our water. And then the highlands.
Yep.
Protecting parts of the highlands, which is also a source of water.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
incredible.
we are the garden state for sure.
Yeah. I know I want to do a garden this summer.
Yes.
Because I took it for granted also how easy it is to grow things here.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I thought that would just be anywhere, but it's like really
we have a
awesome
garden.
that we have the seasons.
We have seasons. We have good soil.
Yeah. To grow.
Yeah, we have a garden in our front yard, Maggie's garden. That's my daughter. My daughter's name is Magdalena, so what
do you guys grow?
We call her Maggie. We do everything like for salads, so lettuce, all different types of lettuce, kale, arugula, cucumbers, tomatoes. Like I like to make fresh salads.
I'm gonna have to pick your brain because that's exactly what
radishes are some of my favorite to grow.
That's awesome. Yeah, and they're not too hard to do.
No.
All right.
I actually been having trouble with tomatoes, but I need to look into that. Yeah. See what's going on with my tomatoes.
I feel like we had a weird year with tomatoes last year.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the weather. I don't know.
I'll
blame the weather.
Yeah.
The weather. Always the weather. I've always wanted a greenhouse for that reason.
Yes.
But again, that's not.
It's put it out into the universe.
Yeah. Well, we live in Sugar Hills, where as we know, the property
limited.
Space. That's my garden.
I know.
Front yard.
Maybe you guys could come together and build. I know you guys have a community garden.
We do have a community garden.
There's no greenhouse there though. Maybe we could spearhead that.
Yeah.
There's a really cool community
garden. Like a barn building. Like a greenhouse building. Like get the community together.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
That'd be fun.
Some volunteer hours.
Yeah. Like a co-op.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I love that you do it all. I love that you travel. You love your local community. You love the international community, the water, like all of it. And that you're an amazing mom. So
thank you.
Thank you for sharing your insight and your passions with us.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And if people want to find you and travel, Instagram, is that the best place that they can?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, my email is jenny.vickers@fora.travel. That's F as in Frank, ORA.travel.
And they can pick your brain if they tell you
they can. Actually, on Instagram, I'm at Trips by Jenny. I have a travel interest form, which doesn't commit you to anything except for just learning more.
If they're like, hey, I want this type of experience.
You could just fill out a form and... Yeah. You're not committing to anything.
I love it. It's just a conversation.
Kind of interested, I'm interested in travel. Teach me more or whatever. So
that's so cool.
Yeah. And then for Asbury Park Bazaar, you can find us at asburyparkbazaar.com. And then if you're interested in environmental nonprofit advocacy work and want to know what we're doing, we're at cleanwateraction.org.
Clearwater Action. Yeah.
Clean Water.
Clean Water Action. I mean,
there's so many groups in New Jersey. There's Clearwater.
Oh, there is.
There's Clean Water and Clean Ocean Action. So a lot of people do get confused by our name, but we're Clean Water Action.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And if you're in the Asbury Park area, definitely check out the bazaar.
Yeah.
It's really awesome. And we should go to the
we're going.
The night one. It was so much fun when we went for Halloween. Thank you for doing fun things.
It was so fun.
Girls' night.
Yes.
Mom's need a night out.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there were a lot of men there too.
There were. My husband came.
Yeah.
And he had fun.
Yeah.
He hung out with all of us. Yeah. It's a good time for anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Jenny. Thank you all for listening. Make sure to like and subscribe and hope you have a great day.